We're 6 weeks in with you know who.
National Voice.
Right.
We're 6 weeks in with you
Leader
know who.
Jeffries.
Everybody said let him do what he's doing so we can see what's going on. So, and now people are saying, well, what are you going to do as a Democrat? Well, wait a minute now.
Did we hear that right?
We're 6 weeks in with you know who.
National Voice.
Right.
We're 6 weeks in with you
Leader
know who.
Jeffries.
Everybody said let him do what he's doing so we can see what's going on. So, and now people are saying, well, what are you going to do as a Democrat? Well, wait a minute now.
Whoopi Goldberg just admit The View is a propaganda machine for Democrats? Well, for years, critics have accused The View of being nothing more than pure left discourse. But now, we have no other than Whoopi Goldberg herself, confirming it live on air. In a heated debate with Stephen A. Smith, Whoopi Goldberg let this comment slip, and the whole internet went crazy. Let's break it down. So, this all went down when Whoopi clashed with ESPN's Stephen A. Smith over the Democrats' ideology and messages. Smith argued that Trump's victory wasn't really about Trump winning. However, it was about the Democrats losing because they ignored the working class.
It's not about him winning. It was an indictment against the Democratic Party and what the Democratic Party was offering the American citizens. We might sit up there and talk about, hey, you should be a party for the working class, which the Democratic Party was once known for. They're not known for that right now. Why? Because their message was catering towards others and towards other issues, and they forgot about the people that brought them there, that elevated the Democratic Party to what it was over these last few decades. That's why they lost. He didn't win.
Smith was trying to say, hey, the Democrats used to be the party of the people, but they lost focus, and that's why they lost the election. Smith's view isn't anything new. It's a belief that's been actually shared among so many moderate and even some liberals, and it's been expressed over the years. The Democratic Party that was once seen as the champion of the working class has become more focused on ideological battles and woke culture warriors. The majority of its voters now are from elite coast, while the small-town Americans and middle-class families struggle to make ends meet. Inflation, job losses, and very high living costs are some of these widely spread struggles. Whoopi, however, doesn't seem to be impressed by that. She will then try to remind us, as if we don't know, of the messages that the Democrats are fighting for. Economic benefits, personal freedoms, you name it.
Remind people what those issues were.
Sure.
Let's remind people what those issues were.
We can do that.
Making sure that families had what they need, SNAP, making sure stuff is there, making sure that the America that we all grew up in, where you could come and be whoever you were supposed to be or want to be, you still have that right. All these things are the things that the Democrats have always said. But now we have a guy who says, yeah, you know, I'm going to bring down the price of eggs, but first I'm going to cut all these jobs, and I'm not going to see why they need to be cut. I'm just going to cut them.
Now, let's be honest. If the Democrats were truly for economic benefits and personal freedoms, then why do so many Americans still struggle financially under their leadership? Why does inflation still hurt working class families when there is a Democrat in the White House? And why do businesses keep leaving the states that are run by Democrats for lower tax alternatives? This is the point that Smith was trying to convey. He was trying to make it very clear that what Whoopi was talking about is not the message Democrats were actually pushing, or at least now what they focus on whenever they're in office. Smith was challenging the idea that Democrats were truly helping everyday Americans. Now, this is the moment that triggered Whoopi and made her say the comment that broke the internet. Now, pay attention to this.
I'm just going to cut him. Because I'm going to put people in. Well, that's what he's doing. He's doing all
and alienate all our friends around the world.
But you're talking about what he's doing. But before you brought that up, you brought up the message that the Democratic Party was disseminating. I'm challenging you on that. That is not what they were doing. I'm not talking about the intent.
We did it.
I was here too. I was alive and breathing right here on the air talking to everybody.
Critics are calling this a major slip-up, basically confirming what many people have suspected about The View for years. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, The View is indeed Democrat propaganda. Americans have been told for the longest time to trust the media and to believe that shows like The View and other media outlets like CNN are completely neutral and that there is no room at all for any bias potential. However, as time goes by, more and more people are waking up and realizing the truth. Let's make it very clear for a moment. these platforms are not neutral. Now let's focus on The View for a bit. For years, conservatives and even moderates have accused the show of being nothing more than a mouthpiece for the Democratic Party. And with this comment, many believe that Whoopi just confirmed it. Viewers have always noticed that the show operates in a way that ensures one side of the debate is always presented as correct, while the other is painted as extreme, dangerous, or just outright evil. If we go back in time and think about it, every time there's an election, The View spends hours demonizing conservatives, spinning Democrat talking points, and shutting down any opposition. And we have seen this over and over. Meghan McCain bullied off the show. Alyssa Farah Griffin constantly shouted over and interrupted. Any Republican guest immediately ambushed. So when Whoopi made this comment, she basically admitted what many of us known all along. I was here. We did it. Now, Elon Musk and Whoopi Goldberg have been clashing back and forth for a while now, so it comes as no surprise that Musk had to jump in and to comment on the incident via X. In response to the clip, Musk tweets saying, "I love that trick. Works every time." So what exactly does he mean by the trick? If we think about it, Musk seems to be referring to how establishment media constantly pretends to be neutral, when in reality, they're only pushing a very clear agenda. When we call them out, they deny it, and then they slip up and reveal the truth with their own mouths. The show, The View, has denied being a propaganda machine, but with this slip up, it's very hard to deny that Whoopi Goldberg very clearly confirmed what so many people have been saying all along. The View fans were furious and clapped back on X, as if they don't know what the show was all about in the first place, calling Smith's take nonsense and saying he shouldn't even have a platform. Talk about free speech? Let's be real for a moment. The mainstream media, from CNN to MSNBC to The View, has spent years telling Americans they're totally neutral and just reporting the facts. However, there is a pattern that we can't argue. Most of the panel on the shows are not fairly distributed, as it's usually 99% liberal and barely one conservative. The overall discourse is always demonizing political opponents. Republicans? Well, do you mean fascists? Democrats? Well, we call those heroes, regardless of anything they're doing. Whoopi has been mocking conservatives for years. So, should we be surprised that she just admitted to pushing propaganda? Not really. Recently, she went as far as mocking Elon Musk's son live on the show.
Yesterday, Elon Musk took his son X to a press conference. I did not name the child. And I don't want to hear any more mess about our names, okay? Okay? Oh. Anywho, he took little X.
Funny. A little Instagram.
He doesn't know an Instagram.
He doesn't know on Instagram. He just took little X with him to a press conference.
Now, let's take a moment and imagine this. What if a conservative talk show host mocked a Democrat's child? There is no doubt that there would be immediate outrage. But since it's Elon Musk, somebody known as conservative and Republican, Whoopi felt completely comfortable mocking his son. Again, it's the same usual double standard. The left can attack anyone they want, but if the roles were reversed, can you imagine the backlash? Now the question is, will The View's audience finally wake up, or will they keep pretending it's just an unbiased talk show while it pushes the same Democratic narratives day after day? So what do you think? Did Whoopi just really admit the truth about The View? Let us know what you think in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you won't miss any new updates. See you in the next one.